General Kethvar stood before the massive holographic display in his command ship, his forearms crossed in dismissive satisfaction. The blue marble of Earth rotated slowly before him, its continents clearly visible through the swirling white clouds. Around him, his bridge crew, a mix of reptilian Vorthak warriors and insectoid Zelnari tacticians, monitored the invasion fleet's approach. Such a pitiful world, Kethvar rumbled, his voice carrying the authority of someone who had conquered 17 star systems. Look at them. No unified planetary defense grid. Their largest weapons barely qualify as artillery by galactic standards. They can't even achieve faster-than-light travel without crude chemical rockets. Commander Slicks, his second-in-command, chittered in agreement. Intelligence reports confirm they still wage wars among themselves, General. Fragmented into hundreds of political entities, primitive beyond measure. Kethvar's mandibles clicked in amusement. Perfect. The Galactic Coalition sent us to deal with this human threat they've been whispering about. What threat? A species that destroys its own habitat and fights over resources when they could simply take them from weaker worlds. The invasion fleet consisted of 200 ships, each capable of reducing a continent to ash. For a civilization that had never left its own solar system in meaningful numbers, it should have been overwhelming force. Kethvar had used smaller fleets to subjugate species far more advanced than these humans. Begin the attack, he commanded. Target their military installations first. I want them to understand the futility of resistance before we proceed with occupation protocols. The first wave of plasma bombardments lit up Earth's night side like deadly auroras. Military bases across 6 continents erupted in brilliant flashes. Satellite networks went dark. Communications arrays fell silent. Within 12 hours, organized military resistance seemed effectively neutralized. Kethvar allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. Deploy ground forces to major population centers. Standard occupation doctrine. Humans will serve adequately as a labor force once their spirit is broken. But as the first transport ships entered Earth's atmosphere, something unexpected happened. The humans didn't surrender. They didn't flee in panic. Instead, scattered groups began emerging from hidden bunkers and underground facilities, carrying weapons that seemed impossibly primitive yet strangely effective. General, Slicks reported, confusion evident in his clicking speech patterns. Our forces are encountering resistance. Heavy resistance. Impossible, Kethvar snarled. We destroyed their military infrastructure. What could they possibly? The holodisplay shifted to show combat footage from the surface. Kethvar watched in growing bewilderment as human soldiers moved through rubble-strewn streets with a coordination that seemed almost supernatural. They fought with damaged equipment, improvised weapons, and tactics that defied conventional military doctrine. One scene showed a small group of humans holding off an entire Vorthak assault squad, using nothing but explosive devices crafted from mining equipment. Another displayed human fighters who continued advancing even after taking wounds that should have been fatal, their faces set with a determination Kethvar had never encountered in 17 conquests. Sir, one of the Zelnari technicians called out. We're receiving a transmission from the surface. It's coming from everywhere. Patch it through, Kethvar ordered. A human face appeared on the screen, weathered, scarred, with eyes that held no fear despite the destruction visible behind him. This is Colonel James Mitchell, Earth's 1st Regiment. I have a message for whoever's in charge up there. Kethvar stepped forward. I am General Kethvar of the Dominion Fleet. Surrender now and your species will be granted the privilege of serving the greater galactic order. Mitchell's laugh was cold and sharp. General, you made one critical error in your intelligence gathering. You assumed our divisions made us weak. You thought our conflicts meant we couldn't unite when it mattered. Your resistance is admirable but futile, Kethvar replied. We have superior technology, superior numbers. You have technology, Mitchell interrupted. We have something else. Every conflict, every war, every struggle in human history has taught us one thing. How to fight when fighting is impossible. How to win when winning seems hopeless. You've studied our weaknesses, but you never bothered to learn about our strengths. As if summoned by his words, reports began flooding the bridge. Human resistance cells were emerging from hiding places across the globe. Not just military installations, but civilian populations who had been preparing for this moment. Engineers who turned subway systems into fortress networks. Farmers who used agricultural equipment to devastating effect against alien armor. Children who served as couriers through sewage systems no Vorthak could navigate. This is impossible, Kethvar muttered, watching his casualty reports climb. They're primitives. They should be broken by now. That's where you're wrong. Mitchell's voice cut through the chaos. Every human on this planet is a member of Earth's 1st Regiment. Every man, woman, and child who refuses to kneel. We've been at war with ourselves for millennia. You think we can't handle a few angry lizards from space? The battle that followed lasted 72 hours. Kethvar threw everything at the human defenders. Orbital bombardments, chemical weapons, psychological warfare. Nothing worked. For every human position destroyed, 2 more appeared. For every fighter killed, 3 more seemed to take their place. The breakthrough came when human engineers, working with salvaged alien technology, managed to hack into the invasion fleet's communication network. Within minutes, human voices were broadcasting on every Dominion frequency, spreading confusion and false orders throughout the alien ranks. Kethvar watched his perfectly ordered invasion dissolve into chaos. His ships began firing on each other due to confusion. Landing parties found themselves cut off and surrounded by humans who seemed to appear from nowhere and disappeared just as quickly. General, Slicks reported, his voice trembling, we've lost contact with 60% of our ground forces. The humans, they're not just fighting us. They're learning from us, adapting. They've started using our own weapons against us. On the main display, Mitchell reappeared. Behind him, Kethvar could see human soldiers carrying Vorthak plasma rifles and wearing salvaged alien armor. General, I'm going to give you one chance to withdraw. Leave now, and we'll consider this a learning experience for both sides. Kethvar's pride warred with the growing realization that he had made a catastrophic miscalculation. And if we refuse? Mitchell's smile was predatory. Then Earth's 1st Regiment will show you exactly what 17 billion humans can accomplish when they stop fighting each other and start fighting you. Looking at his shattered fleet and broken forces, Kethvar finally understood the truth that would echo throughout the galaxy. Humanity's greatest weakness, their inability to unite, was also their greatest strength. They had learned to fight impossible odds as individuals, which made them unstoppable when they finally fought as one. The Dominion fleet withdrew that day, carrying with them a message that would reshape galactic politics forever. Humanity was not weak because they fought among themselves. They were terrifying because they had learned how to fight at all.